Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing some fundamental analysis on Bitcoin, and we're going to be trying to answer the question, why has Bitcoin not returned to $20,000 yet? And I'm also going to be showing you why the answer to that question also answers the question of how Bitcoin will rally to over $100,000 by the end of this bull market. Guys, in this video, we're going to be diving into what drove the rally from $3,000 all the way to $14,000, what forces allowed for that movement to happen, and what forces are going to allow for Bitcoin to move to all-time high, probably later on this year or early in 2020, far beyond that in the coming years. I think you guys are going to get a lot of good value out of this video, so if you do, make sure you smash that like button down below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. We do daily cryptocurrency technical analysis and news updates. But without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Guys, the first thing I want to analyze here is the rally from $3,000 all the way to $14,000. What pushed that rally? Because I'll be quite honest with you guys, retail adoption has not started in Bitcoin. We've not seen the same hype around Bitcoin that we saw when Bitcoin ran to $20,000. That's one of the reasons we've been trading sideways for the last 3 months, is because we don't have that major hype that we had back at the end of 2017. If we look on Google Trends and we Google the term Bitcoin, as you guys can see, Bitcoin back in 2017 had very high interest compared to where it is now. Right now, Bitcoin has 6% of the Google search volume that it had back at the end of 2017. And it has less than half of the Google search volume back in 2017 when Bitcoin was in its rally and trading around $5,000. Well, guys, nowadays, Bitcoin is over twice as high as it was when it was at $5,000 with half of the Google search volume. What that means is that people are less interested in Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's at a higher price. And that's actually a very good thing, because that leads me to the first point I want to make in this video, and that is that the rally from $3,000 to $14,000, guys, I personally believe, and I'll show you why, was mainly fueled by the people that left the market in 2018 during the bear market, and they returned during 2019 because they know what Bitcoin is capable of. And all those people that pulled their money out of the market, they came back, and they came back in a big way. I've said that for a long time. I think that's why we broke through $6,000 so quickly, is because a lot of the money that was driving this market to the upside was money that knew what Bitcoin was capable of if it goes on a bull run. Which would explain why the Google search volume is so low. You would imagine that people Google searching Bitcoin is mostly going to be people that are not familiar with the space. It's mostly going to be people who are newer to the industry and they want to learn. I think a lot of the money that's come into this market over the last 5-6 months has been money that has already been here before. And that also becomes apparent when we look at other mainstream media news outlets like CNBC, for example. If we look on their website here and we look up Bitcoin on CNBC, we can see that they're not releasing a whole lot of stories about this. There's one on September 15th, the 12th, the 11th, the 11th, the 11th, the 9th, the 5th, the 3rd. They release very few stories about Bitcoin, and the mainstream media in general is not talking about Bitcoin unless Tom Lee has something to do with it. Same thing's true over here on CNN, guys. They're barely talking about Bitcoin. Most of the mainstream media news outlets are not talking about Bitcoin. That paired with the absolutely abysmally small amount of Bitcoin search volume leads me to the conclusion that, like I said, most of the volume that is in this space right now is not in fact new retail volume. It's instead people that have already been in the space and they're coming back. And that might sound like a bad thing on the surface because, of course, how are we going to push beyond $20,000 with the same number of people that we had in the space when Bitcoin was at $20,000? But I would argue that that's actually a very bullish thing, because let me point this out to you. With the same number of people that we had in the space when Bitcoin was driving up to $20,000, the vast majority of the people that were in the market when we ran to $20,000 originally, they're probably not in the space anymore. A lot of the people that are still in the space now, they were here in 2016 and 17, like probably you watching this video, and like me, I joined in 2017. The people that are here now, they were here in 2017, are a small fraction of the people that were there in 2017. A lot of people got burned in 2017, left Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies never to return. So it's actually kind of surprising that we've managed to do as much as we have, considering how few of the people that were here in 2017 are still here. But guys, what that means is that if we were able to rally from $3,000 to $14K to $10,000 where we are right now, what that means is that when we do start seeing mainstream media attention come back to Bitcoin, when we do start seeing Bitcoin on Google Trends start to increase its search volume, when we do start to see some kind of passion returning to the cryptocurrency space and we're not as boring as we were for a little while, there's going to be a lot of people flowing into the market again. There's going to be a lot of people that were here in 2017 that perhaps have not returned yet because they're not convinced that Bitcoin's in a bull market, or they haven't seen Bitcoin break $20,000, or they're still at a net loss because they invested at $16,000, $17,000, $18,000, $19,000. We're going to start seeing a lot of them flow into the space, and there's going to be a domino effect. Guys, the dominoes haven't even started falling yet, and Bitcoin's already half of the way back to all-time high. That's impressive, and that says a lot about the future of Bitcoin. Because when CNBC, when CNN, when Fox News, when MSNBC, when all of these mainstream news outlets start talking about Bitcoin breaking $20,000, because we can probably get there on our own, to be totally honest, that's going to be huge. You pair that with something like back launching, and now pretty much everybody who can trade stocks in America can very easily trade Bitcoin on a well-regulated exchange. You pair that with all the fundamental developments that are going on Bitcoin's blockchain blockchain right now, and the ever-improving regulatory landscape for Bitcoin as it gets more and more clear how the taxation around this works, guys, that is a perfect storm for a massive, and I do mean massive rally. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars in the future. And I want to wrap the video up with talking about these price targets. I think you guys understand what I'm talking about when I say that Bitcoin has managed to accomplish so much with so little, and that's very bullish, and that when retail interest starts coming back to the space, and when there's a passion in the market again for Bitcoin, then we're going to see big gains. But I also want to touch on price targets, guys, because I think we all agree that Bitcoin's going back to $20,000, if not in 2019, more than likely before the end of Q1, maybe into Q2 of 2020, around the halving perhaps, but more likely than not, we're going to see a $20,000 Bitcoin within the next 6 to 8 months. I think that's pretty reasonable. Tell me in a poll in the top right if you agree with that sentiment, actually. Do you think that Bitcoin will be back at all-time high within the next 6 months? Tell me that in the poll. As far as price targets are concerned, guys, if we ran to $20,000 back in 2017, and we had a lot of media attention, we had a lot of retail interest, and really importantly, this is something that people don't talk about, we had a lot of passion in the space. There are decentralized applications and blockchain technology and Lightning Network and Bitcoin mining and Ponzi schemes like BitConnect, getting everybody all riled up and excited back in 2017. There was a lot of passion. There was a very vibrant community back then. And I'm not saying there isn't now, but there was a lot of it back then. If with all of that, we managed to run to $20,000, imagine what we can do now that we've ran to $10,000 without any of it. Price targets for this next bull market are going to be absolutely huge, guys. I honestly, personally believe that Bitcoin within the next 4 to 5 years, however long this bull market lasts, probably about 3 years, we're probably going to see Bitcoin go to at least over $100,000. There's other videos on the channel talking about where I think Bitcoin might go in the next bull market, so I'm not going to dive into too much of it, but I do want you guys to understand that just because Bitcoin's been consolidating for 3 or 4 months does not by any stretch of the imagination mean that Bitcoin is in a bear market. Right now, the fundamentals for Bitcoin are more bullish than ever. The technicals can say whatever they want, but in general, the fundamentals are the thing that drive the market in the very long term. And speaking on the very long-term scale, Bitcoin looks positioned for a gigantic bull market over the next couple of years. Tell me in the comment section down below if you disagree. I would love to have a conversation with you about that. Just like any other human, I do have a tendency to be wrong every once in a while, so maybe I am on this. I'd love to hear your take on it. One thing to wrap the video up, guys, and I think this is one of the most important points. I've been touching on this a little bit. It's passion. Like I said, guys, back in 2017, people had a passion. People had a burning desire to be in cryptocurrency. They were excited. They were fired up. They were really, really stoked about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies because there were all of these new technologies coming out. There was so much news. It was a new space. It was all interesting. It was the Wild West. People were making a ridiculous amount of money for the first time. People were absolutely thrilled. It's a hype cycle. What do you expect? We don't have that yet. Guys, during the beginning of the last bull market, Bitcoin was trading at $300 or $400, and when the hype cycle came, Bitcoin rallied from $1,000 to $20,000. That's a 20x growth from the previous all-time high. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that Bitcoin's going to go 20x from the previous all-time high, but let's just imagine for a second that it does. That's $400,000. Now, guys, like I said, I'm not necessarily saying that Bitcoin's going to rally to $400,000. I personally think $200,000 is a pretty good price target for the end of the next bull market, but I certainly think we're looking at six-figure territory when people start getting excited about Bitcoin again, when people start getting fired up about this space again, when people start making a lot of money again because we broke through $20,000 and those dominoes start falling. The Bitcoin bulls are going to start roaring, and they're not going to stop until they go way too far and then another bear market starts. Whatever drives the hype and the passion for Bitcoin this round, whether it is still altcoins and ICOs and dApps and mining and Ponzi schemes like BitConnect, or if it's a new recession, or if it's a massive retail adoption or an adoption by some countries, maybe like Venezuela or something, whatever force ends up driving this new bull market that is not here yet, it's going to be huge. So tell me in the comment section down below if you agree with my analysis on this. Where do you personally think that Bitcoin is going to rally to during the next bull market? I would love to hear your take on that. Like I said, I think we're going to be over $100,000 within 2 years of now. And also tell me what you think the fundamental driving force of this next bull market is going to be. A lot of times in bull markets, and when things are just going really well in anything in general, there's normally some kind of underlying force that's driving it. Back in 2013, it was just a general excitement for Bitcoin and the blockchain and the future that Bitcoin had to take over the global financial markets. In 2016 and 17, it was dApps, ICOs, altcoins, mining, Ponzi schemes like BitConnect, as I said. What is it going to be in 2019, 2020, 2021? What is going to be the force that drives all the hype this time? I want to hear your take on that in the comment section. Anyway, guys, before we wrap it up, I do need to go ahead and mention the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy because this sale is going to be running through Friday. If you guys want to join CT2A and get access to 34 videos, over 10 hours of content on how to trade these markets, how to invest in these markets, and obviously, most importantly, how to profit in these markets, I highly recommend joining us with the link in the description down below. We have nearly 900 students now, and they're learning about technical analysis every single day with the content that they have here. You get to watch these videos as many times as you want to make sure that you get all of the information, and it's a great value, guys. For only $159, you're getting access to all of the training that you really need to start working in these markets and being profitable, guys. We go over the basic stuff if you're new here, like TradingView, where I teach you how to set up your TradingView so that you actually, know how to look at charts. We talk about what support and resistance is, how to read candlestick charts. Moving down here into technical indicators, we talk about all the different technical indicators you're going to need. And then into the technical analysis portion, we talk about some of the more advanced concepts that you also need to know, like gut feeling. This is one of my favorite videos in the entire academy. How to plan and execute profitable trades. This video goes over how to set up your trades, calculate your risk and reward ratio, figure out how much you want to risk, where to put your stop loss, where to start taking profits, if you should take all of your profits all at once. That's what this video goes over. We use 3 examples on 3 different markets. This is a video that you need to know. You need to know everything in this video. And if you don't, it's going to make it very difficult for you to make profit in your trading. So guys, if you're interested, there is a $40 off coupon code in the description down below. Like I said, this sale is going to be running through Friday. There are new videos going up in CT2A all the time right now. I do have a lot of work to do right now because, as you may know, I'm going to Area 51 to film a new video, and you guys are going to be getting a face reveal in about a week. So yeah, I don't think I've actually mentioned that in a video. I've talked about it on Twitter, I've talked about it on Discord, I've talked about it in live stream, but I don't think I mentioned it in a video. You guys are getting a face reveal relatively soon, so look out for that. But anyway, guys, I do appreciate you guys joining CT2A and listening to me talk about it, because like I said, CT2A is what allows me to continue making these videos every single day, because these videos take a lot of work. There's a lot of business expenses that go along with running a channel like this. We have payroll and taxes, and I have to pay for a CPA and a lawyer and an attorney. I have a lot of stuff I have to pay for, and CT2A makes it a lot easier to do that. So guys, thanks for participating in this exchange where I give you information and you allow me to continue doing what I love. So thank you so much for that. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I really enjoyed making this video. Tell me if you'd like to see some more of these, but that's pretty much going to do it for today's video, guys. I do want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.